Like, at this point I'm just like, do you know what, Mimi, you can't lie to yourself any longer. This guy's not bothered. He's really not bothered at all. And you know, it really upset me just because of how flirtatious he was just a few days before, and because I said to myself I wasn't gonna fall for it again. I wasn't gonna keep trying with him. Hi guys, I'm Mimi, just doing me. Welcome back to my channel. We are looking good, feeling good. So this hair and makeup look, I just filmed a video, it will drop after this, so watch out for that, because I feel like you're gonna have questions like, where is my new hair from? I haven't had straight hair in so long, but I just wanted to take the time and sit down and talk to you guys about something that I'm going through a lot right now. Like, I'm feeling like this week, so today is Saturday, I've had a really interesting week, because I know I come across as like really confident, and for the most part I am, but you know, everyone has their insecurities and everyone has those times where they don't really feel that great about themselves. And this week I was really feeling not very good about myself, and the worst part about it was a person, it was a guy that kind of made me feel that way. And you know, you should never give anybody that power over you and over your emotions, but it does happen. And I just want to talk to you guys about my experience and how to deal with it, just in case you're going through something like this, or you've been through something like this. We can just share and help each other out. So if you follow me on Insta, you probably know that I was in Barcelona this week. If you're not following me on Insta, go follow me at justdoing_me. I was in Barcelona this week, and something you guys probably don't know, because I've really not talked about this person on my channel, because he knows about my channel and I know he's watched a few videos, and he's always kind of said, please don't put me on your channel. So I've never really talked about him on my channel, but today I just feel like I have to, because you know, I didn't like the way I was feeling about myself this week, and I always try and be transparent, because I feel like sometimes, you know, sharing my story can help somebody. But anyway, so there is this guy that I met when I was in Barcelona, when I was still living there, and we worked together. That's another reason why I never really mentioned him. I haven't mentioned him once. If you'll pay close attention, maybe you know, but I've mentioned him once on the channel. But I really liked this guy a lot. Like, the whole time I lived in Barcelona, I had a crush, a massive crush on this guy. And there were times when I thought, okay, maybe he likes me too. Like, the first time we really ever spoke was about 4 months, 5, 6, let me see, 6 months, 5, 6 months, 6 months actually, after I joined my old company. So I'd seen him around quite a lot, and he was a bit of me, he was my type. I thought he looked really good, which he does. Everybody that sees that boy thinks he looks really good. But the first time we spoke was about 6 months after I started that job, and it was kind of like a work event. And considering like how long I'd been crushing on him, like, it was crazy, because he came over to me at that event and he started talking to me. We were both drinking, but then we went our separate ways. But you know, I just know, I remember having butterflies, like, wow, like, oh my god, my crush spoke to me. And then later on that evening, on the way back, because we went, like, the event was quite far out of Barcelona centre, he sat down next to me on the coach, and we were talking quite a bit, and we ended up having like a kiss. And I remember just panicking after the kiss, because everyone from work could basically see us, and I kind of like grabbed my stuff and ran off the bus the first chance I got, because I was just like, crap, I don't know what to do. And I remember saying to him, like, I'm just gonna pretend you don't exist on Monday when we get back to work. That was kind of like my coping mechanism. I was just going to ignore him, and I did, and it made things quite awkward between us. You know, we'd say hi and smile from time to time, but we never really like had like a friendship or talking. But over a while, a few more months after that, you know, we'd speak here and there, and like it started to become a friendship, not like a strong one, but just like a nice, like, hey, how are you, whatnot. But there was always this attraction, and I just never really knew if it was reciprocated or not. Like, I guess to an extent, I guess it had to be, but I just wasn't sure. But anyway, like, I don't want to dive too deep into the background. I just wanted to like give you guys a little bit of an idea of timelines. So the week that I was leaving Barcelona, we had a work event, and like he made quite a bit of effort to speak to me, but that night I just really wasn't interested. Like, I was kind of like in my feelings a little bit, just because I felt like, oh, I've liked you for so long and this just isn't going anywhere. So I was kind of like quite standoffish with him. But at the end of the night, I did kind of go up to him and I was like, hey, I'm leaving Barcelona, you should come to my leaving drinks. And he was like, yeah, for sure, I'll be there. And he came that night, and all my friends were there, and my housemates that I lived with, and they'd known for the longest time that I had a crush on him. So I think they were really friendly with his friends, and next thing I know, we're all like going to a club together, my friends, his friends, and he got in a taxi with my best friend Charlene, and next thing I know, she's texting me saying, Mimi, this guy, what should we call him? Damn, I don't even know what to call him. Let's just call him James. James is actually my favorite name, so we'll call him James. So Charlene was like, James just told me that he has a crush on you, and he's always had a crush on you. And I was like, what? No way. I remember like getting that text and just running around the flat like screaming like, ah. And he was coming and she was coming. They were all coming back to our flat for pre-drinks before we went to the club. So like, it was so awkward, because I just, it wasn't awkward, but it was just awkward, you know, because when he walked in, I was just, I didn't even know what to do. Like, the thing about me is when I like someone, I'm just so awkward. I actually tend to pretend like I don't know who they are, and I just ignore them, which is really the reason why I guess we kind of never got together, because I'm just very awkward around people that I like. But anyway, that night we went to the club, and like he came talk to me, and we were dancing together all night, just really good vibes. And we talked, and he was just like, yeah, I've always liked you, I just didn't have the confidence. I was like, well, why didn't you come and tell me? It's like, I just didn't have the confidence to come and talk to you. And that night that we actually had a kiss, you were quite mean to me, he said, and it was quite funny. You know, but I kind of understood it, because I am probably quite intimidating. I'm quite a strong character, and then I have a YouTube channel which he knows about, and he's always like, gosh, you share some really personal stuff on there, please don't put me on your vlog. Sorry James, you made it on anyway. But anyways, so like, that was a cool night, literally my last night in Barcelona. I spent with him, and then the next morning I got on a flight out of Barca. But of course that was to get the job that I got, and after I got the job, I then had like 2 months off work before I actually started the job. So I actually went back to Barcelona twice in those 2 months. And like, me, like, just imagine like you've liked this guy for a year, and then you finally find out that he kind of liked you too, and it's literally your last night in the city when you find. I was just like, oh damn. So when I went back to Barca, like, a part of me was really hoping that I would get to see him and we could spend a bit more time together. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, we're gonna have a relationship, we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend, because I'm very aware that I just moved out of the country, and the time for that would probably have been when I was still living there, and there was just so many things going on in my life at that point. The relationship was just really the last thing that I was focused on. I just feel myself, like, I'm trying to keep it lighthearted, but I just feel myself just getting quite emotional about everything. So yeah, I went back twice, and each time I went back, I would like message him like, hey, what are you doing, let's meet up, let's hang out. Actually, the first time I went back, it was for his party. He had a party. He asked me if I would come, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna come, because I'll have moved back home. But I ended up going back anyway, because all of my friends were going, and I saw him. It was a bit awkward. Yeah, it was a bit awkward. We didn't, like, I went up, we spoke for a little bit, but nothing. And then I think I texted him a few days after that party, and I was like, hey, what you doing, you know, do you want to hang out? And like, he basically had an excuse, like he had a work thing that evening, sorry. And I was like, You know, just because I was like, I didn't expect it, I guess. Maybe I should have expected it, I really don't know. Yeah, but I didn't expect it. And I was a little bit bummed about that, and I think the next day I left Barca, so I was like, cool. And the second time I went back to Barca, I texted him in advance, and I was like, hey, I'm coming to Barcelona, I want to give you as much warning as possible because I don't want, like, what happened last time to happen again. And he was like, yeah, cool, we'll hang out on Friday, let's do this. And so I get to Barca, and like, he messages me on Friday, and he's like, hey, so what's the plans for tonight? And I'm like, I really don't know, we're just hanging out, me and the girls, let's stay in touch and we'll figure it out. And then he was like, okay, cool, that sounds good. And then he texted me later on that night, and he was like, okay, so me and the guys think we're gonna go to this club. And I was like, oh crap, I'm actually planning on going there tomorrow, so I don't think I'm gonna come tonight, sorry. And I was like, yeah, actually I'm not coming, and I didn't come, and he didn't reply after that. But I kind of said I wasn't gonna come because in my mind I thought, like, I'll see him, like, it's only Friday, I only just got to Barcelona, I'll see him, you know, tomorrow or the day after. So the next day I message him, and like, he just doesn't respond for ages. And then late he messages me and is like, hey, sorry, I'm on my way to another country where he's from, and he's like, sorry, we didn't get a chance to see each other. And I was gutted. I was like, oh my god, like, I thought I had all this time to see him, that's why I didn't go that night. And then he was gone, and then I came back to England, and I was just like, you know. But I was starting to really feel like maybe he wasn't that bothered about seeing me, because obviously I live in another country now, I'm only here, you know, for maybe 2 days at a time. Like, if you really want to see someone, I expected there to be more effort, and I just felt like he wasn't putting any effort. So this time around, third time since I left Barca that I went back, I was just like, because after he said that, I didn't respond actually, because I was quite upset by the whole situation. So I just didn't respond. This time around, when I was going, I was just like, yeah, I'm not getting in touch with him. Like, no, I'm not gonna give him another chance to kind of like pie me off. That's a British slang, but like, kind of diss me. I'm not gonna give him another chance to do that. But I put on my story that, yeah, I'm coming to Barca, and he messaged me and he was like, when are you coming? And then I replied, and he was like, for how long? I replied, and I was like, why, are you going to be around? And then he just didn't even respond, and I was just like, ugh, same old-ish, different day with this guy, I'm just not even going to bother. So then when I got to Barca, I was like, yeah, I'm not even, definitely not hearing from me at all. And then luck would have it, I go to this event, and wouldn't you know, he's there. So he's there with some friends, and I was just like, come on, like, what are the odds? Come on. So I actually got up to him to say hi, because I didn't want it to be awkward, and like, we just start chatting, and it was literally like the longest conversation we've ever had. We were just talking about, like, you know, the fact that we actually don't know each other that well, even though like, we've kind of had this like love-hate, not really hate, but just kind of like this relationship for a few months where we like look at each other, and yeah, you know, we actually don't really know anything about each other. And then we talked a bit about like our past, where we're from, just random things, and it really felt good. Like, I was so happy in that moment. I was just like, just so happy to spend time with him. And he had his arms around me, he was holding my hand, we took a few pictures, and he was making comments like, oh, how can you be staying on the sofa at like your old place, you know, you should come and stay at mine, my housemates are gone. Then he would say to my housemates when I wasn't there, like, Mimi, anything happens, she's more than welcome at my place, you know, anything at all, you know, she's welcome anytime. And obviously they told me that this is what he was saying. So when I left that event, like, I was super happy. Like, yeah, we got along really well, I was super happy, and I thought, do you know what, maybe I will just try it one last time and make an effort with him and see how that goes. So I texted him the next day after the event, and I was like, hey, is that offer still open? Obviously referring to what he said about I can come stay at his. And he was like, not unless you want to get sick, I think I've got the flu, I'm not really feeling very well, what about tomorrow? So back in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my god, this guy is rejecting me once again. But I was like, okay, sure, just let me know how you're feeling tomorrow, keep me posted. But at the back of my mind, I was just like, do you know, actions speak louder than words. Like, if every time I want to meet up with him, he's got an excuse, because the way I kind of have a crush on this guy, even if I was on my deathbed, I'd be like, yeah, come over, I'm perfectly fine, let's hang out, you know. I just thought, you know what, it's just, you know, it's not there's no reciprocity. Is that a word? There's no reciprocity. It's kind of like one way. I think obviously I just have very strong feelings for him, and maybe he does like me, but it's just not on the same level at all. And still, like, if I'm being honest, my expectations are still not, oh, let's go into a relationship. It's really just, I'm in town, let's hang out. Hanging out with you makes me happy, I just want to hang out with you, you know. That's literally it. But yeah, the next day comes and I'm like waiting all day to find out, you know, am I going to see him, because I'm leaving Barcelona the next day and he knows that because I told him that. I'm waiting all day, I hear nothing from him. So by 8 p.m. I message him and I'm like, hey, what's up, you know, I hope you're feeling better. No response, nothing all night, doesn't open the message. And at this point, like, I know I'm being pied off. Like, I know he's received my message, he's just not read it on purpose. And like, at this point, I'm just like, you know what, Mimi, you can't lie to yourself any longer. This guy's not bothered. He's really not bothered at all. Like, yeah, there was a time when he liked you, but I guess that has now faded, that's now past, and you know, you need to really let go of it, because you're just hanging on to a dream at this point. And you know, it really upset me just because of how flirtatious he was just a few days before, and because I said to myself I wasn't gonna fall for it again, I wasn't gonna keep trying with him. I was very upset at myself that like I tried one last time, and I was pretty upset with him as well, because I was like, okay, you clearly have no intention of actually seeing me or actually having me over to yours, so why did you keep saying you're more than welcome at mine anytime? And then like when I try and say, yeah, let's do this, it's like, oh, I'm sick, oh, you know. And he told me he was sick before, he told me he had a meeting before. Like, I've heard quite a few of these excuses before as well. So I was just like, do you know what, never mind. And I blocked him the next morning because I was like, you're taking the piss, like you really are. So I blocked him the next morning. And I'm going to stop the story there. There's stuff that happened after that, but it's not really relevant. And you know, I thought maybe I was being a bit childish by blocking him, and was it really necessary? But I really want you guys to know, you need to do whatever you need to do to, you know, feel good, to feel happy, because that really knocked my confidence. It really made me start thinking, why am I not good enough? Why does he not want me? Why does he not like me anymore? You know, what happened, what changed? And it really made me question myself. Yeah, it really did. Like, I remember just sitting on the sofa just so upset, like just like at myself, at him, at the whole situation, you know. And I had like probably 2-3 really bad days, and I thank God for good friends that like it just really let me talk it through with them, because I was like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why does he act this way? You know, he's all talk, there's no actions. It's just strange, it makes no sense. So just like in terms of how I've dealt with it, I felt like blocking him was necessary. I didn't want to see what he was doing, and I didn't really particularly want him to see what I was doing. I felt like there needed to be a bit of distance between us, at least for a while. And I just, yeah, like, if you're going through something like this, I really want to say it's not you. I knew it wasn't me, but it still felt like it was me. Like, at the back of my mind, I know you can be the most beautiful person in the world and a guy will still cheat on you, a guy will still not be interested in you. So I know all of these things, but it still felt like I was being rejected, because I was. And it still felt like that rejection was because somehow maybe I wasn't pretty enough, somehow maybe I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't nice enough. So all I'm gonna say is, allow yourself to feel bad, but do not allow yourself to blame you. It's not you. You can be the most amazing person in the world and someone still doesn't want to be with you, and someone's still, you know, just not that bothered. But also another thing, actions speak louder than words, and I think that's something that I really needed to have listened to a little bit earlier on, because he might have been saying all the right words, but his actions were really telling me the truth, that he just, if I was there, fair enough, maybe, but he wouldn't ever really go out of his way to see me, you know. And just like really hit home that like you shouldn't be crossing oceans for people that will not jump a puddle for you. You know, you really shouldn't be like going to bat and really investing in people that just clearly will not invest back in you. So yeah, there's been some really hard lessons to learn this week. But if you're going through something like this, you know, take the time, you know, to feel what you're feeling, because time heals everything, and you can't just say like, I'm good. No, take the time, feel it, you know, but never blame yourself, and don't take too long, you know. 2-3 days for me was good. I put on some music, I got my hair did, I just changed my hair, you know, just to feel a little bit better about myself. That's long enough, you know. And there's always someone new, there's plenty more fish in the sea. And the funny thing is, like, I am still seeing the Italian. So I say seeing, like, I'm not seeing him, we're still talking, more so recently, more so this week, because we kind of stopped talking for a while. But I've seen that he's recently started making an effort again, which is really good. And it was really nice, because when I was feeling really bad about myself, it was really nice to be reminded by someone else, another guy, that actually, Mimi, you're pretty amazing. So I'm really glad that, like, you know, he's still in the picture. But yeah, like, go out there, find someone new. The best way to get over someone is to find someone new. You are special, you are fabulous, and do not let anybody convince you otherwise. So that's kind of been what I've been going through this week, and just where I'm at. And I hope this is therapeutic, and I can kind of let go of that situation now. Lots of lessons learned, but I'm going to focus on people who are focusing on me. I'm no longer going to be about someone who just hasn't shown anything, you know, like, yeah. So I don't even know how to close this video, except for to say, like, if you guys have gone through a similar situation, let me know how you dealt with it. Because as much as I'm saying that, like, oh, I give myself 3 days and I move on, I'm sure, you know, in a few days maybe I'll remember everything and it will hit me again, and I'll be quite sad. So how do you guys go through, you know, rejection? How do you cope with it? I hope this helps somebody, you know. But just don't ever question your self-worth because somebody doesn't see how amazing you are. You know, not everybody can have good taste. So I'm Mimi of Just Doing Me. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. We are looking good, and we are most definitely feeling good, eh?